Greetings, Vril people, and welcome to Maria Orsic's ritual. Remember, recover, return. That is her mantra. Who am I? I work for Maria back home on Venus in another dimension. And I am her spokesman. And I am also her student for many, many years. I do this by her request. So this is for you, Mama. This is an introduction to my story. And hopefully I will introduce how I met Maria. This is raw and unedited by request of Maria. I will be smoking. I will be coughing. This will be unprofessional. But what is important is the information, the truth that Mother wants you to know. Maria is the mother goddess of all human beings because she saved humanity from certain enslavement. In short, she invented a UFO and then figured out how to bring material things from one dimension to another, including her other human beings. I will, in these podcasts, I will tell you the story of how she invented the UFO and how she figured out how to take material things from one dimension to another, and how she saved all races from total enslavement. In history, she is known as Nana, Balder's wife. She is Santa Maria, the plant goddess. She was queen of Atlantis. She's lived many lives in many different bodies here in the holographic universe on this planet Earth. To lay out very quickly the basis of her teachings, number one, and no specific order really, we are living in a projected hologram. Back home on Venus, we are hooked into technology that connects our imaginations with very powerful technology that causes us all to imagine the reality that we are living in. It does not exist alone. On Venus, there is a projected hologram into the sky that reminds us that some of our loved ones and friends are in the hologram at that time. And as she told me, we don't know if we paid to be here or some people are sentenced here. This is a sort of prison for other worlds. Other people are here to experience. Some people are here being punished, and they're here forever. Some people are serving a sentence and will be let out of the hologram and back into society, back home at a certain time. And all who are good, the good, are here to experience things that cannot be experienced on Venus because they have been eliminated by technology. The foremost is broken hearts. Broken hearts have caused the most trouble in all the worlds. And there is technology that has matched people, and broken hearts basically do not exist anymore. Some people are here to, I'm just giving a few examples. Some people here, some people like me are here to gain a polarity of experiences, a wide range of experiences, because one day we want to enter into a permanent meditation and create and live in our own world that we create in our imagination. There is, as you probably know, as a spiritual seeker, there are many worlds, many dimensions, endless numbers, because they are within you. They are inside of you. When you astral project, you project inside of you. Everything outside of you is Maya, illusion. And she, of course, taught me that by experience. Also, I'm still laying out a few of the basic teachings of Maria. Also, at the core of her teachings is the ancient religion of eternal true love, which is a choice and not a predestined fate, which predestined fate does not exist outside of the hologram. And Maria's view on God is there is no being known as God. No one knows where all the universes came from. No one knows. Nothing came from anything else. We've always been here. We are eternal. Everything is eternal. It's always been here. Outside of all of this is something beyond everything. No one can describe it. No one knows it. No one has spoken to it. It has never been known. Even calling it does nothing to help the situation. This is something 100% subjective to experience. If you know what I'm talking about, you will know what George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Plato, other great thinkers have talked about. Maria, jokingly, we call it the 3 asterisks. Sometimes we say blank, blank, blank. But we always say, I should say, she always says, there's no use talking about it because it's indescribable and beyond words. So anyone who claims to have who claims to have talked to God is lying. Where did we human beings, souls, come from? We always existed. We came from nowhere. We are. There is no creator. There is no God in that way. And that is straight from Maria's mouth. And in these talks, we will get into detail, much deeper into what she thinks about all these things. And now I will tell you my experience here on earth before I knew and understood the context. This is what happened. In 1976, in July, I had turned 7 years old, and I was, in September, entering the 2nd grade. And I had no idea what was real until these events. I was a child living inside my mind, inside my imagination, and had no real concept of what the world was until these events. It was a summer night during, before the beginning of school, somewhere in August, my bedroom was a cross from my mother and stepfather's bedroom. And I was a afraid 7-year-old boy, and I would leave my door open, and they would leave their door open, cracked open, so I could see their door. Well, one night I was sleeping in my bed, and I heard someone saying to me lightly, "Joe, wake up. Joe, I'm here. Wake up. Don't be afraid." I opened my eyes in the half-lit, half-dark room, and I said, "Mom?" And no one answered. I looked around, and I thought, I must be dreaming. And I heard her again say, "Joe, don't be afraid. I've come to see you." And that woke me up. And I said, "Mom?" Out loud I said, "Mom?" And no one answered back. And I looked at my bedroom window, and the bushes in front of my window were blowing, and I thought, oh, there's a storm, and I was dreaming, and it woke me up. And while I was saying that, the voice in my head said, "No, it's me, Joe. I came to see you. Don't be afraid." I said, "Okay." She said, "I am your real mother. I've seen how you're troubled and how this world is harming you. And because I love you, I could not help but come to see you. Don't be afraid. Get out of bed and come to your mother's window." I got out of bed. I pushed open my mother's cracked door, and in the absolute darkness of her room, a window that faced the backyard, and a bright light was shining through the window, hitting the mirror of her dresser, and the wind was blowing a weeping willow tree in our yard pretty fiercely. Through the window I could see the long limbs of the weeping willow tree blowing about crazily. I walked in the room towards the light slowly, and I heard her voice again say, "Don't be afraid. Come to the window. I want to see you, and you to see me." I walked to the window, and as a child, I said to myself, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Over and over, I whispered it out loud. For above the weeping willow tree was a silver UFO, just like the movies. It was small, a little smaller than our tiny 2-bedroom home, and it made a very light but detectable hum. It's made the entire atmosphere, and the window was open. Smelled like static electricity, and I looked out, and it was a disc with multicolored lights on the there was like 2 levels to the disc, like a bigger platform disc, and then a control room round compartment on top. And below that compartment on the platform was lights that were going around counterclockwise of all different colors. And I don't know exactly how long. I just stood there as a child and with my mouth hanging open, just saying, I can't believe it. And the whole time I was doing that, she was talking to me, saying, I'm a real mother because I created your personality. And she said one thing I will never forget. She said, I've been watching you, and I know that it troubles you that you are aware of things that your mother is not, my earthly mother. She said to me, you know truths about her, like what's going on in our family's life that a 7-year-old boy shouldn't know, shouldn't understand. And she said, you know that these are true and that your mother doesn't understand, and that troubles you. It gives you fear. That you've literally had the thoughts of, I am wiser than my mom. And how can that be when I'm a little boy? How can I understand her pain and her vibration, how she was living? How do I understand her better than she does? And it troubled me that there was no one I could talk to about that. And she said, talk to me. I'm always with you. You can always talk to me about these things that don't make sense. Okay? And as she was talking to me, I looked away. I guess I began to think about what she was saying, and I looked away from the UFO. And also she had turned off the bright light when I looked outside. And so it was just hovering there above the tree with its multicolored lights. Almost invisible because it was like a dark gray, dark silver, you might say. And as I was standing there, she said, "Joe, come, look back out at me. I want you to see me. I want you to wave. Because I have to go. We only have a short time." She said, "The most important thing for you to know is I love you." I looked out the window in the little cabin on top of the disc. A light was turned on in the window, and I could see her waving, and I waved back. And then she said to me, "Joe, look at your mother in your bed, and I want you to say this prayer for her. That you will always be protected, that you will always seek happiness, and may the gods always bless her for being my mom on earth and doing the best she could." And as I was saying that, and she was dictating that to me, she said, "I want you to look back up at me one more time before I leave." So I looked back out the window. And this time when I looked, there was another person taller than her, much taller than her. And they were both waving. And I waved back. And the disc, the hum, like moved up, and I could tell it was going to move. And it moved slowly away about 10 or 20 feet. And then, it's hard to describe, but in a flash, it took off and disappeared. It like took off, but it went so fast, it just was gone. And there was like a clap when it left. It kind of made me jump. And I heard her voice in my head say, "I had to go back home. Remember, I love you. Go back to bed." And she said, "I want you to know and to never lose hope. I promise you I will come back in the same vehicle and see you at least one more time. I promise." And I walked back to my bed, feeling probably the best I had ever felt as a child, as far as not being afraid anymore and being able to lay in the dark. I laid there and thought to myself, "Oh my God, I can't wait to tell people that the people on the UFOs aren't aliens. They're not mean. They're not evil. I can't wait to tell everyone it's not like the movies. They're not going to experiment on us and scare us. There's nothing scary." I was laying in my bed thinking these things. And I do remember having this thought of like, I knew there was more than this. I knew that my earthly mom wasn't it. I knew that at 7 years old. I closed my eyes and fell asleep smiling. Hail Maria, hail her forever, the ballerina of the green thunderbolt, the shamanic dancer of dimensions, the most beautiful woman ever, inside and out. Hail Mother, hail the greatest teacher to me ever. And you've been listening to Maria Orsic's Ritual. I will pick up the story next episode. To all our people who love Maria, who want to remember, recover, and return, may Vishnu, Lucifer, Odin bless you. Where may Mother shine her light upon you. May we fight this illusory battle together. The gods are watching our intentions. All is Maya, except those who you knew before you came here. To my brothers and sisters,